phone while you're live. Okay. Okay, I think we're on, Carl. So I'm Nisi, and this is my lovely assistant, the napping Carl. And today we are talking about how to teach your dog not to jump on people. So I'm focusing today on jumping on people, not objects. I know I had some questions about counter surfing, so I made a note of that and we'll do it for another video. So if you log on here and you have a question, just feel free to just pop it into the comments. I should be able to see them coming up and I can answer your question if you have one. And let me know when you log in and just say hi so I know who's there. You can tell me what breed of dog you have and if they're a jumper too. That's why we're all here. So Carl and I today are gonna go over my top 3. Oops. Okay. Well, we lost our feed for a second. It's probably my internet. Okay. Well, we're back. So we're gonna go over my top 3 tips for reducing jumping. And am I sideways? Oh, I'm trying to rotate. Okay, hold on. Let me try and fix it. It should be rotating. Thanks, Andrea. Okay, I'll just hold it. Okay, I'm just gonna hold my phone. All right, so Carl's here and he's resting. So we're going to be going over my top 3 tips for reducing jumping and training your dog not to jump on people. So my first tip here is really just understanding why dogs jump on people. And the top reason really is that they're getting something out of it. They enjoy whatever it is that's going on in the situation. So dogs really want to greet you close to your face, to say hi. So yes, thanks, I'm right side up now. So they want to get close to your face and they want to say hi, and they may find different things reinforcing in the greeting situation. So some dogs really like it if you're talking to them. Some even just the eye contact is really exciting, and for others it may be like touching and praise. So it's really important that you make a mental note of what you're doing when you greet your dog that might be kind of exciting for them. So even if you're upset and you're saying mean things or you're trying to push your dog away from you, that can still be attention for the dog. So for a really attention-seeking dog, any attention is good attention. So even if you're saying, no, get off of me, oh my gosh, that dog might still be kind of excited about that. And if you're pushing them down, they might be like, oh, I'm getting touched. So it's really important to kind of think about the dog's perspective here and think about how the dog might be being reinforced in that greeting situation with you. It's important to understand. So when you're working on reducing that jumping, it's really important too that everybody in your family's on board, because even if the dog gets to jump every once in a while, it can still be really exciting, and you want to make sure that you're not reinforcing it. Some people are allowing jumping, some people aren't. It's just really important that we are all on the same page and that everybody is helping to keep the dog 4 paws on the floor. And that also means that throughout the day, I consider anytime the dog's front 2 paws come off the ground, that's jumping. So even if they didn't actually jump on you, if those front paws come off the ground, that's the beginning of jumping. That's just jumping. So Carl's asleep. So he's supposed to be helping me. He's so tired. If you ask your dog to sit, for example, and you go to give them the treat, and their front paws come off the ground when they grab the treat, you're kind of rewarding jumping there. So if you had handed them the food while their front paws were off the ground, then you're rewarding the jumping a little bit. So you just want to make sure that you're being really cognitive of when the paws are all on the floor, and that's what we want to do. So you want to make sure you're giving the attention, the eye contact, the praise, everything when the paws are on the floor, not when the front paws are off the ground. So Carl and I are going to do a little demo here of how I like to greet a dog, and I'm just going to see if I can get my phone to go the way I want it to here. I thought I could do it on its side, but that's not happening so well. Okay, so I'll just try and hold it. So I'm going to see if I can get Carl to get up. Carl, come on, buddy. Come on. So Carl's here on board and train, and one of the things that he's working on is his jumping. Currently, he's napping. So I'm going to grab a treat and get him off of that couch. Come on. Good boy. There he is. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. So when I greet a new dog, or my own dogs, what I'm doing is I'm coming down to their level first. So I'm coming down and I'm patting the dog down here. See if I can get it far enough away so that my face comes down towards the dog here. So I'm not standing up and just saying, oh, hi, from a standing position while Carl's way down here. I'm either gonna bend all the way over to pat him, or I'm actually gonna crouch down here to say hi to him. So another thing I like to do is, Carl, come here, buddy. Come here. So what I like to do here is you can hopefully you can see my legs. I kind of push the dog into my legs here. So when I'm greeting the dog, they're sideways against me, and I'm patting them right here, or I'm kind of rubbing their butt, something like that. Instead of greeting them face to face like this, I'm really getting them on my side like this. Good boy. And another thing you can do, if the dog's quite bouncy, is, do you see where my hand is here on Carl's shoulders? So with my hand here, I'm not pushing down, but I can stop Carl if he starts to bounce off the ground a little bit. My hand is here to stop those front shoulders from coming off the ground. So I can still be patting him, but my hand is in a place where I can stop that bouncing. So what you don't want to be doing is, Carl's here and I come to say hi to him, and I stand up super tall and my hands are up and I'm making excited sounds. And what I'm doing with this posture is I'm just inviting him to jump on me. I'm just saying, please, Carl, come up and try and touch my face because I'm way up here. So when you approach the dog, you're just going to make sure that you're coming down to their level. You've got your safety hand here on their shoulders. And if you're standing, you can push them right into your leg here and pat them from the side. And this is always how I greet my own dogs. And they'll just start doing it naturally. So they'll just come up and they I call it off for the butt. So they'll just come up sideways and come in for a little pat that way. So they're not thinking that they're gonna come head on and greet me that way. And none of my dogs jump because I don't like jumping and I have big dogs. So for me, it's really important from puppyhood that we're really careful with that jumping behavior. So I catch my breath here. Gonna get up and walk around. So my second tip here is rewarding an alternative behavior. And what I mean by that, it's kind of trainer speak, but what I mean by that is you really want to reinforce a behavior that's incompatible with jumping, like a sit or a down, so that it becomes a really solid automatic behavior. So I get a lot of dogs here visiting me and clients that I've had for training in the past, and the dog knows how to sit and they know how to lay down, they know those commands, but it's really not being reinforced often enough, and to the point where it's the dog's favorite thing to do, which is what I want it to be. So a lot of the times we'll reinforce things that we think are cute, like shake a paw or a little trick or something like that. But I really like to spend a lot of time, so all day long, I'm asking the dogs to sit for no reason. Just like, oh, sit, here's a treat. Oh, sit, here's a treat. Oh, sit, oh, what a good dog. Giving them pat, pat, pat. Oh, sit, whatever. We're out on a walk. We're walking around the house. I'm doing dishes, whatever. I'm just asking them to sit all the time. And I make that the most fun thing for them to be sitting. And what happens when you do that and you reinforce the sit and or the down all the time is that the dog starts to offer that behavior randomly and automatically without you having to ask for it. And it just becomes their favorite thing to do because you've been reinforcing it so much. So if you are working through my 15-day puppy program right now, you probably already have a lot of that coming with your dog. So because you're practicing every day, you should have a lot of the behaviors becoming quite automatic. So you just stand up and look at your dog and they just sit. And that's what we're looking for. So if you can get that, then when you come in the door or you're greeting your dog, you can ask for the sit, or you can just stand there and look at your dog, and a lot of times they'll just offer it because they know it's what you like and they want your attention and they want some reinforcement. So they'll start offering you behaviors that get them that. And if they know that they can do it with the sit, then they'll offer the sit instead of the jumping behavior. So let's move on. The third tip and last one and hardest one is managing your greetings with strangers. And this is really hard because you are managing your dog and you're also managing another person that you don't know at the same time. And this can be really challenging for people when you're out and about because maybe your dog's not ready to greet someone. Maybe they are jumping on everyone and you don't want to manage it. you just want to kind of be easy breezy that day. So it's actually really important that you advocate for your dog and yourself, and you don't put yourself in situations where your training's going to get backtracked. So if someone's coming to your house or you're greeting someone on the street and they want to say hi to the dog, but the dog's not ready and you're not ready and you know they're going to jump on them, as soon as they do that, and if that person says, oh, cute puppy, and pats them while they're jumping or looks at them or gives them a treat, which I've seen randomly for jumping, then you've really set your training back, which sucks because you're putting all this time into it. And you're practicing really hard and you don't want your dog to jump on people. It's embarrassing. And you know what, for the dog, like the next time they meet someone, that person might hate dogs or not want to be jumped on, or maybe they're muddy and they get yelled at and they're sad because they thought that jumping was awesome. So it's really important that we manage the other person. So sometimes I'll just say, no, you can't say hi to my dog. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But I know that makes people really uncomfortable sometimes. So it's good you can come up with a little script ahead of time if you want to, like, oh, sorry, we're training right now, so I'm really working on polite greetings and I don't want to say hi right now. That's one. Another one, you can say, I have used this before with clients, oh, she's a rescue and we don't know how she is with people. So that's totally could be a lie, but that's fine. So you don't know these people. And another one that I know has been used is saying, oh, she has fleas or she's contagious in some way. And that also will have people back away. It's really hard to get people to back off sometimes. I found people will be really, even adults will be really persistent, like dying to see your dog and pat it. So that's if you want to avoid the greeting. So if you want to go ahead and you want to try out the greeting, you want them to greet this person, you decided you're going to jump in for it. So I like to manage the other person first. And what I will do is I always will have treats with me while I'm training my dog. So if you're working on a behavior problem, it's important that you're prepared with some reinforcement. So what I'll say to them, instead of saying, sure, you can greet the dog, wait till he sits to pat him, what I'll say instead is, do you want to give him a treat for sitting? So what that does is takes all the other options off the table. It puts the other person in charge of waiting for the sit so that they can give the treat. And then it gives you a little bit more control there. So I really like that as an alternative for just letting someone come up and greet your dog. So the third kind of option here is you manage the dog more heavily, and the people, you kind of just say, yeah, just give me a second here. I'm going to ask him to sit, or I'm just going to hold his collar or something like that. And that's good for, I do this with little kids a lot. So if the kids want to come up and pat the dog and I think the dog might be a little jumpy, and I'm not sure if they're going to knock them down. But I know the dog's friendly and I want them to be exposed to kids. So when the kids come up, what I'll do is I'll put my finger underneath the dog's collar. So I'll get Carl up here if I can get him to wake up because he's napping again. Get my treats out here. Go on. Come here, buddy. Come here, lovey. Good boy. Okay. So let's say Carl and I are out on a walk and someone wants to meet him. So I'm just going to put one finger or thumb maybe right underneath. So he's got this really nice, this really cool beaded collar on. But I'll just put one finger underneath his chin here. So my finger's down here. And I'll just hold it. So I'm not yanking his head down at all. I'm not adding any pressure. I'm just waiting to see if he does. So if he pops up a little bit, then I have my backup safety finger there underneath the collar so that I can hold him down. I can hold that front part of his body down on the ground if he tries to bounce up a little bit. And then the other option here is if you're on leash and you have a leash hooked up to the collar, what you can do is you can drop your leash and step on it with 2 feet so it's doing basically the same thing as the finger under the collar. It's holding the dog on the ground. I've done that, and the leash thing kind of freaks me out. Depends how big your dog is. So if you have a heavy dog, a large dog, and they're on a slippery surface, it can be a little dangerous. So I would go with the finger under the collar over stepping on the leash any day of the week with the size of dogs that I have, because they're all 50 pounds and up. And up, I mean, I wouldn't be stepping on Argie's. He's a 150-pound dog. I'm not going to step on his leash. Or just knock me over if he was going to jump. So I would probably be having my hand on his collar just in case. So I'd get right down with my dog. I'd have my finger just underneath the collar just in case. And when the person approaches, I might even say, oh, he can be a little bouncy or something like that. But I'm still managing it so that he can't jump up and jump on that person. So I think that's it for my tips. So hopefully that was enough information. I didn't get the camera to rotate the way I wanted to. So hopefully you were able to see the ideal greeting situation there. Me just holding it in selfie mode. So of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to add them in after the fact or send me a message and we can talk about your dog. And if you have any questions about any other topics that you'd want covered, that you want to know more about, please send me a message about that too, or comment below here. And I will be posting this on YouTube and Vimeo as well. And it'll be sitting on the Facebook timeline, which is, if you're watching it after the fact, that's where you're watching it. So you already know. Okay. Well, everybody have a great Saturday night. I'm just hanging out with dogs tonight. So, bye. Carl, you want to say bye? Come on. Come on. Come on. Say bye. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Oh, he's not jumping at all. He's so good. Okay. Bye. Good night.